Clicketed, clicketed, clicketed. Hello, boys and girls. You know, in all the years that I've been calling everybody boys and girls, I've only had one complaint. I actually had. You can mute it there, maybe too. I actually had one fella complain that.
What did he want to be called?
Oh, I don't know what he wanted to be called, but he was just like, I'm
a man.
I'm 65 years old and I don't need to be called a boy anymore. And I'm just like, well, don't worry. When you grow up, it won't bother you. Let's see. So we have Vern Jeske on here. We have Scott Radum on here who says, I got my stuff today. Read through a quick game. He says, very cool. Played scenario number 1 out of the core book as a test. Feels like starting objectives should be outside 6 inches of characters to keep turtle objective. That is correct. You are correct. In nearly every scenario, one of the fairly basic rules is you must deploy over 6 inches away from the plot points. Very, very seldom are you allowed to start within that range.
Yeah.
Closer than that. So you are correct, sir. Happy New Year's. Yeah. What is this? Is this
New Year's Eve?
This is New Year's Eve. It is the eve of the
new year.
Of the new year. So happy New Year's to all of you. This has actually been, and I tell you what, there were some challenges along the way, but oh man, there's this really ridiculous YouTube commercial that they have been playing the crap out of, and I absolutely hate it. It is just this whiny butt commercial of just, oh, it's been so hard this year. You know what? It has. It's been a tough year, but yeah, it's you suck it up and you move on. It's not that big a deal, for pity's sake, And you know what? In a lot of ways, it was an incredible year. There was some really crappy things about this year, but there were some really awesome things as well.
Yeah.
So, you take the good with the bad. And if I could remember all of the words to the Facts of Life song, if anybody could type it in, I would be, you take the good, you take the bad. A lot of people don't know this. That song was written by Alan Thicke. And if you don't know who Alan Thicke is,
I do know.
You do know?
I do know.
You know who Alan Thicke was or is? You know who his son is?
Robin Thicke.
Robin Thicke. And they look a lot alike. They really do. Robin really grew up to be a chip off the old Thicke. We are going live in approximately unos minutos. Oh man, think you were answering my question and ad autoplayed. I'll catch it on the rewatch. No, I was basically just saying that you were correct, sir. Alan Thicke, Canadian legend. That is correct. That is correct. And that wonderful boy of his, that dear Robin Thicke. What a lad he is.
Oh, there you go.
What?
Take the good, you take the bad, you take the both, and there you have the facts of life.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take the both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life. There was more to it than that. Pretty sure it didn't just repeat, but
But that was the main.
That was the main
was the
gist
main-
of the thing right there. That was the main gist. It's 8 o'clock, and that means we have to say,
Howdy.
hey, everybody, this is Dave here at Pulp Alley, and I am with the world's most dangerous Bessy.
Oh, that was a lot.
That's the way we used to introduce her when she was about to go into the ring. When she was coming into the ring, that was she really liked the zazz.
That's true. I have been known to like the Zaz.
No, you miss those days, don't you?
No.
You don't.
No.
No, they are
$5 corn dogs. I don't miss that.
You don't miss the $5 corn dogs.
$5 is a lot for a corn dog.
She got her corn dogs on the cuff, from what I remember. Hey, everyone. Manny Marino is on here. Scott is on here. Wonderful. Simon Morley is on here. Very nice. So glad y'all joined us today. If you haven't already, please make sure you take a moment and just click that like button for us. That would be super awesome. As you join the very special New Year's Eve edition of Live with Bessy and Dave.
Mm-hmm. Stay safe out there, kids.
Stay safe out there. If you know what I mean. I don't know what that means. If you know what I mean, we'll just leave it at that.
Well, they sell fireworks on New Year's.
Who does? Nobody sells fireworks.
People sell fireworks.
Who sells fireworks?
People.
Where can I get me some of these fireworks? Where can I get some? That's what I want to know.
Well, you gotta buy them from a man who doesn't have all his fingers. But
Right Car 72 is on here. Right Car, did you get your stuff? Did you get your lovely goodies? Luis, I don't know about you, but they're here. But here in Montreal, Luis says, or is it Louis? It's probably just Louis, isn't it? It's probably just Louis. I don't know though. He's in Montreal, so it could be Luis.
A new COVID curfew for the next 3 weeks.
We have a new COVID-19 curfew for the next 3 weeks. What does that mean? Does it mean that you like you have to be off the streets at a certain hour, like 9 o'clock at night? Is everybody has to be inside playing Pulp Alley? I believe that was part of the restriction. If I remember right, if you read the fine lines, the fine print there, they specifically said that you have to be off the streets and playing Pulp Alley.
I mean, it's official. You can't.
It's official.
You can't argue with the official.
It's a government mandate.
Things.
There will be a scenario of the month for December. No one rush. Just wondering. Oh, how sweet of you, Bird.
Is that a yes or a no?
I don't know. As soon as she gets it done, I don't know. I've been waiting on Bessy to get the scenario of the month done. And
you have to be off the streets from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Off the streets. Everyone has to be off the streets in Montreal. That is going to it's going to make things really rough for the exotic dancers.
Honestly, that would be fine for me. I go to bed at 9, so
it would. Yeah, we're like in bed by 9 o'clock at night.
9 to 5. That works for me.
And have Doctor Who play. Classic Doctor Who, mind you. Classic Doctor Who.
Over and over.
But yeah, think of the problems that's going to cause for the exotic dancers in Montreal. COVID, it's going to drive many of them out of business. COVID-19 mostly comes out at night. Mostly.
That's scientific.
That's science.
I think.
DW Low is on here. I got a wonderful present from DW Low. I want to say a big thank you to everybody that joined us tonight. We're gonna talk about a few things, but it's a lot of chat. It's a lot of chitter chat with our buddies, our pals from around the world, from far off exotic Canada and the United Kingdom and all over the place. Wonder who else we have. Who's y'all's favorite doctor? Okay, let's see the Sean Peck. Favorite doctor, it's got to be Tom. It's I don't know. It's Tom Baker for me. And I guess for me, the big reason why, and I enjoy a lot of the other doctors, but that's when I discovered. That's when I discovered Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Was the early 80s or so, and that's what I discovered was Tom Baker as Doctor Who. So I think I watched it for quite a while before I even realized that there were other Doctor Who's, and it shook me to my core.
Ooh.
It shook me to my core when Tom Baker passed and the torch to another Doctor Who, and all of a sudden Doctor Who looked different. I pretty much gave up on the show. It shook me. I can't remember how old I was. I may have been like 37, 38, something like that. I don't really remember, but I had to stay indoors for like several weeks. Just I was shook. I was shooketed.
Shooketh.
Shooketed. Doc Savage is Lewis's favorite doctor. I don't remember which series he was. Was that number 12? I don't remember. Is there any reason I can't combine all the extra fortune cards and reward cards together? Absolutely no reason. That's actually how it's supposed to be done. So if you have a big whopping stack of fortune cards, toss them all together and play. For our Sunday games, we only use the basic deck, and the reason we do it that way is so that we know whoever we're playing with has that exact deck as well, or has access to all of the cards that are in there. So we do not play with any of the extra packs or any of the odd cards. We play with the straight starter deck. But if you're playing at home, you mix all of your fortune cards together in a big honking deck, shuffle it up, and you go and have yourself a good time. That is exactly how it's supposed to be used.
Oh.
Same thing with the reward cards. If you have a whole bunch of reward cards, that is how it is supposed to be used. You're supposed to take all of your reward cards and mix them together. And then when the scenario says take 5 random reward cards, you draw 5 random reward cards out of your big honkin' stack of 20 or so reward cards that you have. You pick out 5 of them randomly is how it's supposed to be, and then you set those aside, and those are your rewards. So you don't know what they're going to be until they are flipped. Ba-bam! You know what we're going to do this Sunday?
A solo game.
It's going to be a solo game again. I'm going to do another solo game this Sunday because I started thinking that the last couple times that I've done a solo, I really only did a one-sided solo. So I want to do a full solo game the way, the way you're going to play most scenarios. And that means having 2 leagues out there and making the decisions, showing you how you control 2 different leagues when you have 2 complete leagues out there. And I don't know, I'll probably just do like scenario 1 out of the starter box or something like that, and just play through something like that. Just a really basic scenario. And Scott, the other thing I would say is you're absolutely starting correctly. You should start off by playing those 6 scenarios out of the basic rule book. That is the best way to get started, because it will, that first scenario really has no special rules, and the next one has a special rule, and then they get a little more complicated as you go through it, and they're intended to work that way so that your focus is on the basic rules rather than the special rules, right? You want to learn how to play Pulp Alley, right? Yeah. Without all the extra special rules in there about that one scenario. And it helps you kind of stay focused a little bit. What I missed? What else is on here? Finished painting all my core set today. Sean Peck, you wild man. Thank you so much. I'd like to see. I'd like you to see. Have you posted that yet? I'd like to see your figures, Mr. Peck. Doc Savage. Did we get any other answers on favorite doctor?
No.
Bones McCoy. Not sure what series, what season he was in. Is that a character book on the table? Anything special you want to say about it? We are going to be adding it to the store very soon, and I guess that's basically it. So over the next few days, Bessy will be adding this to the store, so everyone will be able to order it carte blanche. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that actually means. On a cart. You can order it on a carte blanche. Is that a color? Is that purple? No. Is it white?
I don't think.
Blanco. Blanco. I don't know.
You're super international.
Dang it! If I only had Google here with me, Google would know.
Oh,
I
Dr.
grew up with
Hawkeye
Baker.
Pierce. I like that.
What?
Hawkeye Pierce. MASH.
Oh, go Hawkeye. He was such a character, I tell you.
I'm a David Tennant girl myself.
Oh.
But again,
I think
that's
he
my
is,
doctor.
I think traditionally he actually is like the favorite doctor currently in the world. I think
because that was what I was introduced. So he's my gold standard.
He still ranks the highest.
He's
with I believe Baker is right behind David Tennant.
And then what's his noodle's good too.
Oh, you remember Doc Watts's noodle? Goodness me, oh my.
No, the old guy, the new one. I can't think of his name. You know who I'm discussing. You do too. Not the one right after David Tennant, but the one after him. Capaldi.
Oh, Louis Capaldi. He's definitely and a lot of people don't know this. He's a wonderful singer as well. Doogie Howser and David Tennant. John Pertwee. Oh, Mark Long. Pertwee is good. He had a flair. Pertwee had like this little flair.
He's always the one that has the scantily clad companion, yes? Conveniently?
Yeah. Well, they all had pretty scantily clad companions.
Okay, Sarah Jane was wearing a lot of really high cut shirts and some overalls.
Sarah Jane did not do a lot of scantily.
There wasn't a lot of really short skirts.
We followed Sarah Jane up with Leela.
Yeah, she had some.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
all right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, John Pertwee had that gal that had that super short mini skirt.
Oh,
risque. You're always nervous when she like bent down and stuff. It's like, oh, scared for her. It's like, oh my gosh, I hope they can edit this. Dr. Huxtable. Oh yes, there we go. I need 2 Inviso bases. Sean, I think I knocked you out some Inviso bases today, and they're sitting in a box right over there. So they will probably ship tomorrow. He's in jail, Scott. What does that mean?
He said Dr. Huxtable, and then he said, whatever happened to that actor?
Oh, is he really in jail?
I don't think so.
Pretty risque for the time. Oh, John Pertwee's
companion.
They had very special rules about that, though. They were very strict about not allowing any sort of physical or limiting any sort of contact that could be considered to be affectionate and things like that. They were very strict.
No, just stand there and look leggy.
Yeah, just bend down in your super scanty mini skirt. You know, when you're 12, that's oh. Tom Baker and Doc Brown. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good. 141 fortune cards and counting. My favorite is signed by Dave. I got it. I played Pulp Alley with Dave, and all I got was this lousy card. So that is a special card that is occasionally sent out to folks that play on Sundays with me.
Ooh.
So I don't remember how many of those we had printed up, but we didn't have very many of them printed up. We didn't figure we'd get very many volunteers, but there was a card that says that's called "I Got It" is the title, or it says "I Goy It." Gosh, I hope, did I misprint that? Maybe it does say "I Goy It."
That'd be even
and
funnier.
then the flavor text on the card, I don't remember what the card actually does, but the flavor text on the card, if you know what I mean by that, is in quotes, I played Pulp Alley with Dave, and all I got was this lousy card. So that's kind of cute. Blighty's BBC Blighty's Bland Conditions. Love that card too, Verd. Okay. How are you guys enjoying the 12-minute tutorials? Are they helpful? Do they need to be longer? I don't think that I could really do them any shorter. Probably not. Well, the reason is because I'm trying to shoot them almost as if I'm doing a live video. So I want to do the minimal amount of post-production after I shoot it. So yeah, I could edit it and chop it down to 5 minutes, but that takes me hours to do. So it's better if I just leave all the stupid extra breaths and ums and ahs in there. Just leave the nonsense in there and just trim it basically for time and try and make sure I keep it around 12 minutes. I think Bessy needs her own card. Well,
I think so.
I agree. And since she's going to start playing with you guys on Sunday, then
we did not.
Then we can have a card that says, I played Pulp Alley with Bessy, and all I got was this lousy card. Huh? How does that sound to you? How does that grab you? How does that grab you right there?
We didn't discuss my contract at all. My price is pretty steep.
Tell me about the 12-minute tutorials. Are you getting anything out of those? Are they the right length? And is there anything that you would like covered? I think that's probably more important than anything. Is there anything that you want covered in these 12-minute tutorials? So the WMD card. The tutorials for combat need to cover multiple turns with how the recovery rolls work, and maybe spend a little more time on multiple fights in the same turn regarding dice penalties and such, saith the Scot. Okay.
Good notes.
Very good. Very good. Good notes. Good notes there. So, need to cover multiple turns with how the recovery. Okay, so the recovery checks. So, okay. It'll be a little more time on multiple fights in the same turn regarding dice penalties. Okay. You're right. I do blows through those awfully quick. You're surprised how little time 12 minutes actually is when I actually start trying to work it all together. But how are we doing on time? I got 10 minutes right here. Okay. The not a red herring card. Explain that, Mr. Vern. Explain yourself, mister.
It's for me. It's my card.
But what does that mean?
Well, then there's no red herring and you draw that card and you take all the red herrings out of the deck.
So it could be like a reaction card if you're holding that, if you
Ooh.
draw the red herring,
Not today, Satan.
you could play the not a red herring and immediately draw a different reward card.
I like that.
What Bessy said.
Not today, Satan.
Not to see that you guys say these things and that doesn't actually mean anything.
Everybody knows what that means.
Not today, Satan.
Everybody knows what that means.
Okay, I'll just write that on a card. Not today, Satan. It doesn't do anything.
Everybody knows what that means.
Nothing. It does nothing.
It means everything. I'll explain it to you later.
Okay. So, to answer Vern's question from earlier in tonight's little program here, yes, there is going to be a scenario of the month for December, and it'll probably be headed your way tomorrow. Now, Vern, don't think I haven't noticed, Mister. You're not actually a subscriber, but he gets them on the rebound. So, he gets a lot of them, and that brings us to the idea that I am not going to do scenario of the month for 2022. And if you know me very well, you know that I don't usually give a lot of reasons and I don't usually give a lot of excuses because I think things happen and that's just the way it is, you know. So I don't have a lot of reasons or excuses to give about why I'm not going to continue it into next year. But what do you think, Bessy? You know, as far as the stopping and not doing it next year.
Like, am I for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot out. We can take a year off. We can always pick it up again.
Yeah. We have a lot of scenarios out there. We have somewhere around 100 scenarios. So there's a lot of Pulp Alley scenarios out there. And what I'm thinking about instead is trying to pursue the maybe like a quarterly Pulp Alley fanzine sort of idea and see if we could get that to work and try to do 4 of them or 3 of them next year. Who knows what we can actually pull off. But we have quite a bit of material that folks have sent to us. And if I could focus in on it, then we could probably start getting some of that stuff compiled into something and you know, releasing it out once in a while so that we would have some scenarios. So we could probably do 2 or 3 scenarios in the quarterly pulp zine, plus some fiction, plus some other stuff. So I really do still want it to be mainly fan driven.
Yeah.
Like I would like you guys to, you know, have, you know, those of you that want to contribute, you know, you can have your own section in the fanzine, you know, Bob's Corner, you know, and where Bob talks about different abilities and things like that he'd like to see, you know, tried out, or different ideas for scenarios, or Jake's Corner or Jake's shop where he writes out stats for different classic pulp era heroes. Like here's stats for the Green Hornet. Here's you know, the Black Whip, and you know, on and on down through there. So some classic pulp characters written out in stats and things like that. So if you are interested in participating in the fanzine, then it's probably not going to happen if I don't get enough material from you guys. So it really does need to be driven by you guys, and I will try to. That's
good God.
What happened there? I will try to, you know, compile it and, you know, get it into something. Now, my main focus for 2022 is to work on our next campaign, which is going to be
Oh, pick me.
Bessy.
Bride of the Serpent.
Bride of the Serpent.
Woo woo.
Dun, dun, dun.
Talk about bosomy.
Bride of the Serpent. So Bride of the Serpent is a follow-up to Tomb of the Serpent. It is part 2 of that campaign. And our goal is to release a group of miniatures that would support both Tomb of the Serpent and Bride of the Serpent. So we're going to release our own line of miniatures that could be used in both of those campaigns. Many of the figures will be interchangeable. I would say probably most of the figures will be interchangeable between the 2 campaigns. And there will be some figures in there that will be specific to one campaign or the other. And Bride of the Serpent is going to once again have a little bit of a globe-trotting aspect. So it's not just going to happen in one area. But just like Tomb of the Serpent, where you did a little bit of globe-trotting and then you ended up in Egypt, and then a lot of the story actually took place in Egypt. This time we're going to Central America.
Ooh.
And I think we may be doing a little bit of exploration mainly around the Yucatan Peninsula area and ancient Mayan ruins.
Dun, dun, dun.
So off into the jungle of the Yucatan. So I think that'll be fun. We'll have possibly some adventures along the coast, possibly some adventures, in different areas just around that area, maybe Cuba. I haven't really decided yet, but it's going to start off probably in London and end up in the Yucatan, and there'll probably be several stops along the way. So lots of fun.
Hey, we have a question on here.
Oh, a question.
Sean wanted to know, do you have any formatting requirements for stories or scenarios?
No. So we will do all the formatting. So all you need to do is you could send it to us in a plain text format, or you could send it to us in the body of an email. So really you just send the text to us, and then we'll take it from there and try to turn it into something. Yeah. And we have several scenarios, and we would love to see you guys do some scenarios. So don't hesitate. I don't know that we really have a theme so far, so don't feel like, whatever you want to do. We do have, there is I don't mean this in so much in the sense of the layout, but we do have a kind of a template to think about when you do a Pulp Alley scenario. So if you have like China Station or the other scenarios book, look at those and go, okay, these are the sort of things that I should probably include with that scenario. It doesn't have to be laid out like this or formatted like this, but there should be
an area, a good template to follow.
Right. There should be an area for the special rules. There should be an area that covers setup rules and the wrap up. And if you need a special, we're almost over here, boys and girls. We're coming up on the last minute or so. If you need a random events table, then you can use that. Or if you don't need that, then you can just use the basic one out of the book. So yeah, lots of fun. Hey, Sean. Was that Sean that asked that about the scenario? Very cool. I would love to see you come up with something, buddy. I'd love to see something from Mr. Hudson over there in El Paso, Texas. All right. So it is a solo scenario this week. And if there are folks out there that would like to play with me on a Sunday morning, we will start the list up again. And the best way to be on that list is to let me know that you want to be on the list. If you do not reach out to me, then the chances of me reaching out to you are very slim. I don't mean that in a bad way. Did that sound bad? I hope that didn't come out bad, but But in other words, if you would like to be part of the Sunday morning game,
Also, don't send it by carrier pigeon.
you can send it by carrier
do
pigeon. That works. Radiogram also. Semaphore. I love Semaphore.
So in reality, emails or Messenger on Facebook are the good ways to do it.
A big thank you to everybody that joined us for our very special New Year's Eve edition of Live with Bessy and Dave. Have I covered everything?
I think so.
All right. That's it, everybody. Have a wonderful and safe New Year. We really, really appreciate all of you jumping on here, and we will see you next time. Cue the music. Roll the credits. Wake up the orchestra. Dun 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 dun. Goodbye, everybody. Dun 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 dun.